More delegates are won on Super Tuesday than on any other day in the primary contests. And it's Trump and Clinton who've done best. The firecracker outsider for the Republicans and one of the most famous surnames in the history of the liberal establishment for the Democrats. Biggest loser, probably Republican aspirant Mark Rubio, the little tug that could but didn't. Another Republican, Ted Cruz, won his home state of Texas. That's big because there are lots of delegates there, and the neighbouring state of Oklahoma. He remains the only Republican to have beaten Trump. We'll discuss the Democrats a bit later with one of their own strategists, but we begin with our Florida correspondent, Steve Mort, in Palm Beach, where Donald Trump addressed his faithful supporters not terribly long ago. Steve, it's a long delay, so I'm just going to ask you a big open-ended question, and that is, how good is Trump feeling, and how much of that is bravado or fact?
Well, you know, he's feeling really, really good right now, and most of that is bravado and facts. You've got the usual Trump bravado, and he gave a pretty typical Trump-style speech this evening just at the resort right behind me here in Florida, where he really made fun, if you like, of Marco Rubio, his rival for the GOP nomination, basically saying that Marco Rubio was indeed, as you paraphrased there, the biggest loser of the night. Marco Rubio didn't manage to win a single state. Donald Trump pretty much sweeping the board, with the exception of a couple of states which he lost out to Ted Cruz on, and they were Ted Cruz's home state of Texas and, of course, also Oklahoma. They're two important GOP states, and they also carry quite a lot of delegates. Now, up until now, all the states that have been contested on both sides have had their delegates allocated proportionally. But now we're coming up to those big winner-take-all states, and the reason that you saw Donald Trump right here, along with Marco Rubio and Hillary Clinton here in Florida, was because on March the 15th, you'll see Florida voters go to the polls. It's the first big winner-take-all state. 99 delegates are up for grabs. And Marco Rubio is hoping that here in his home state, if he grabs those voters, then that will basically give a huge boost to his campaign. But the polls are not favoring Marco Rubio in that respect. In fact, some polls show him trailing by double digits to Donald Trump. So bravado and facts really seem to be behind Donald Trump at the moment when it comes to his presidential bid. It's going to take something of a miracle for Marco Rubio or Ted Cruz, despite winning Texas, to come from behind at the moment to take enough delegates to win.
Steve, Ted Cruz had to win Texas because it's his home state, and as everyone's pointing out, if you can't win your home state, then you're not going to win anyone else's. He picked it up. He picked up Oklahoma as a bonus. Will that give him momentum? Will that make him a credible challenger elsewhere?
Well, it does give him momentum, but it's a case of, does it give him enough momentum? Indeed, he did have to win Texas, and he won Texas by a pretty good margin. But, you know, Ted Cruz has really pinned his colors to that evangelical religious vote. And therefore, Super Tuesday was very important because it included a huge swath of southern states. And in those southern states, there are a lot of evangelical voters. And the fact that he didn't win in places like Alabama and Tennessee and Georgia, all of those carrying a lot of delegates, the fact that he didn't win there means that it's going to be very difficult to say that he gained the kind of momentum that Donald Trump did. Donald Trump sweeping the board across those states, places that should be a heartland for Ted Cruz. He didn't manage to score victories there. So even though he won Texas and all its delegates, it's going to be very difficult for him to continue that momentum as we move into the big winner-take-all states.